In this video, I'm going to show you how to record your Zoom meetings properly. You'll learn the difference between recording to computer and recording to cloud. You'll also learn how to record just your face. You'll also learn how to record your face and the screen. And even better, I'll show you how to record just the audio. Hi, I'm Betsy, your Zoom expert. I help you stop winging it on Zoom calls so that you can create Zoom meetings that are engaging, run seamlessly, and are set up to sell. Let's get started. So it all starts here inside your Zoom meeting. When you want to record yourself, whether it's just your face or your face and the screen, you're going to use the recording control. Now that's in your toolbar. And since you're hosting it, you have this host toolbar. And the record button is right here. When you click there, you get two options. And one option is to record to the computer for local computer recordings. And the other option is recording to the cloud. Now, here's the thing. You won't see these options if you don't have the settings set properly. I'm going to show you that in a little bit. When you record to your computer and you record locally, your recording is capturing exactly what you see. So if you're going to change your display from maybe speaker view to gallery view and back again, then that's what your recording is going to look like. If you change it from speaker to shared screen and then back to speaker, that's what your recording looks like. As opposed to the cloud has a number of settings that let you record in multiple formats all at the same time. And that's what I'm going to get to next. Some of the settings that Zoom uses are stored here inside the Zoom Workplace app. To take a look at those, just go down here beside the video button and click that up arrow. And even though it says video settings down there, it'll bring us into all of the settings right here. And on that left sidebar, go ahead and click recording. And this brings up the recording settings where you see at the top of the page here, it lets you confirm and or change where you want those recordings that are recorded to the computer stored. You can certainly keep it inside your documents folder and then in the Zoom subfolder. That's done for you, but this does give you the option to change it if you want to. A little further down, it does show you the cloud recording storage. And so your cloud does fill up. You can see here that you have 10 gigabytes of space. That's with a paid account. And you can purchase more space. What I would recommend you do is you could actually download it from the cloud and then put it somewhere else. You could put it on an external hard drive. You could put it in another cloud that maybe you pay space for, or you could just delete it if you don't need it anymore, and that will free up the space. That's coming in a few minutes, so stay with us. I'm going to show you where the cloud is located. And then finally, the recording preferences. So you can say whether you would like people's names to actually show up whenever you're showing the gallery. And so if you're going to be using these recordings, let's say on a public domain, you definitely want to get their permission that their faces would be used. And then you can turn this off so that their names don't show up on the recordings. You can also include a timestamp if you want to, and you can also record your video during your screen sharing. So that will show your video and your screen share side by side. I'm going to show you what that looks like. But you have to have this checkbox checked to have that resulting file format. Any of these settings must be set in advance in order for them to take effect when you are recording. At the bottom here, go ahead and click Advanced, and you'll see that on the next page, you've got 3 more settings that might be helpful. I don't use these at this time, but it's important to know that these settings are there, and sometimes they're hidden. You don't know what you don't know. For instance, you can record a separate file for each person who's talking. Great for podcasts if you want to be able to use the audio. You can also keep unconverted recording files. So when you are recording to your computer, you get notified when the meeting ends that the recording is about to be converted. And if for some reason you have maybe weak Wi-Fi or not a strong computer processor, and you think that your equipment can't handle the local recording, meaning to your computer, you might want to use this. You can also optimize optimized for third-party video editors. So if you're going to take this file and then send it out to a third party to edit it for you with different programs, then you might want to use this setting. Now, it's important to know that if you are choosing to record to your local computer rather than the cloud, that you do use a computer that is strong and powerful and that you have very strong internet connection, or else you are running the risk that, first of all, that your Zoom meeting will have glitches just from the equipment, and then your recording will not happen. If your meeting ends and you're the one recording it to your local computer, the recording will not continue. So record to the cloud is a little safer option. So keep that in mind. So in this local recording, I am starting off with myself on screen only. So I'm recording just my face. Once I start with the share screen button, and then I pick one of the options in share screen, for instance, my Canva screen. I've been working on my new playbook. In the local recording, using the proper settings, the video thumbnail, which is me speaking, is going to be shown next to the screen that's being shared. And that could be your browser, it could be your PowerPoint, it could be any application that you have open. You can also, using your share screen features, you can use portion of screen like this, which lets you zoom in a little further. And when you are recording locally, the video thumbnail of the person speaking appears next to it, as opposed to in the cloud where you get multiple file formats. Hey, if you're ready to turn Zoom into your most powerful sales tool, even if you're not a tech expert, well, get on the priority list for my impactful training called Zoom Confidence. It's designed for coaches and course creators and online entrepreneurs who want to stop winging it on those Zoom calls and start running polished, professional, profitable Zoom sessions. Just click the link in the description to learn more and get early access. Now let's take a look behind the screens, so to speak, where your account settings are. This is located at zoom.us. You have to log into your Zoom account. And then on the left sidebar there, click on settings. And then on the right side of the screen, notice that we are on the recording tab. So across the top from left to right, there are plenty of settings inside here. And the recording tab shows you this whole listing of different settings, which we're going to go through. The first section of this page has to do with recording to computer. And that's where you're recording locally to the computer's hard drive. And these are some of the settings that will take effect when you do that. First of all, you must have these buttons on. When they're blue, they're enabled. If you get into your account and they're not, you won't even have these options available to you inside the meeting. So they must be turned on. If you want, pause this video at this time, go into your own Zoom account and sign in and have a look, and go ahead and turn them on if you want to have those options available to you. Underneath there, it says who can request permission to record. And so it says internal meeting participants and external meeting participants. What this means is if you are on a Zoom account that is a corporate account and it has multiple users, then you have internal participants. If you are the person like me who has your own Zoom account and then you invite in people from all over the world who are on their own other Zoom accounts because they're from different companies, those are external participants. So it's important to know the difference. What this also does is it says that inside my meeting, if you wanted to record, you can't record until you ask permission. But this does give you the ability to ask. And so as a host, I would definitely turn these on. If someone asked you, you could deny the request, but at least they would have the capability to ask you if they could record on their end. If that's something you don't want at all, then just make sure they're not checked. Some of these settings we won't go into today, like things having to do with specific countries, locations, or domains, but you'll see some of these settings that are here. And if they apply to you, then please enable them. The next section is whether or not you want your chat saved. And you'll see throughout this page, there are two areas. I would definitely recommend that you choose that option to save the chat. That way, when the meeting ends, you will not inadvertently lose that information information. Sometimes in a chat, you will have testimonials from people. You'll have extra questions that you didn't get around to answering. And then you'll also be prompted whether you want the closed caption saved in a file. And if you plan on repurposing your Zoom recordings to social media where you can then use that file, it's called a VTT file, and some third-party editors and applications will want that file to show your captions. And then the next section is for cloud recording. So again, you want to make sure that button is on. And then as you see, it indicates where do you want cloud recording to be available to you. I have an account which allows me to have a Zoom events or sessions license. So that's why you're seeing that there. You might not have that option. And then underneath here where it says cloud recording settings, look at all the check marks that are here. When I record to the cloud, I want to be able to have multiple formats, and you might want to also. So what I do is I say, hey, Zoom, could you record the active speaker with the shared screen? That's where I get my face and the screen. You might also want the gallery with the shared screen. And so what that means is when I'm sharing, I'll see the active speaker. Maybe it's me, maybe it's someone in my participants who is speaking, and the shared screen. But when I stop the share, I get to see the gallery of people. At least one screen's worth will be in the recording. The next section of check marks is record active speaker, gallery view, and shared screen separately, one of my favorites. So you'll end up with 3 separate video files, one with just the person talking, great for interviews, that's just your face, one with the gallery view, so that's the whole gallery of people, one screen's worth, and then finally just your shared screen. So you could actually show your shared screen in a video with just your voiceover behind it and your face is not showing. This next section, record audio files only. So there it is. If you wanted just to take the audio file from your Zoom meeting, make sure this is checked. And then in the cloud, you will have that audio file that you can download and save and use. I mean, it's great for doing your podcasts on Zoom. You'll have your video files in those upper settings, and then you'll also have the audio file to send to your podcast platform. This in here is a little particular setting, record an audio file for each participant. If you want a separate audio file, you would make sure that you would have this checked. The first 200 speakers will be recorded separately. So there are limits. If you had a very big event, the audio of users who joined by phone will be merged. So if you are using other type of equipment where people dial in, there are limitations to that. If you are using an interpreter, there are settings for that as well. Yes, Zoom does have language interpretation built into the application, and you can also record Production Studio customized from your webinar. So if you're using the webinar add-on, then these 2 items would take effect. If you're just using the Zoom meeting, then you might not see all of these options as well. But remember to save your chats automatically, make sure this option is checked. And then finally, in the bottom, these are advanced settings. So if you wanted to add a timestamp, you could. I don't. I found that the timestamp was very large in the bottom corner, and so I opted not to. But please check it off, do a test recording, and you will see how the timestamp appears in that corner. You can display participants' names, as I mentioned earlier, and then you can record the thumbnails when sharing. So in this case, a thumbnail video of the presenter is included. And so the shared screen is on one side, and then this rectangle that the active speaker is in will show on the other side. This setting right here, create audio transcript. I always make sure I have that set. If you use a video editor, either a person or an application, this transcript file is very important, meaning that you can find spots in the video extremely efficiently by searching for keywords in the transcript. And you can also provide that transcript for accessibility options to people who need it. This rounds out the last couple of settings. You do have polls inside Zoom. And when you run a poll, you launch it live in the meeting and you can save the poll results with the meeting. And that's why I have this one checked. And there again, the closed captioning for cloud is here as well as it was for local computer recordings. And finally, participants can request to start their own cloud recording. So if I'm not recording at that time, they can hit a button that requests that I start it. And there you go. That rounds it out. The settings at the bottom bottom are really for automated settings. If you want it so that when your meeting starts, your recording automatically starts, then check it off here. You can choose to have it recorded automatically to your computer or to the cloud. And bear in mind, you can stop the recording if it starts and then change it midway. But if you stop the recording, you do have to manually turn it back on. And then when recordings are set, you can indicate whether viewers can see the transcript or not, and whether viewers can see the chat. So this is when you record to the cloud, your recording is shareable. And when you share that with a link, these items are shared with it. And it's extremely helpful. If you use the Zoom cloud for all of your recordings, you would have to add on some cloud space because Zoom cloud does fill up after about maybe 4 or 5 hours of video recordings once they get in there. And if you need them in there for a few weeks at a time to share them, you might need to purchase more space. And you'll see down here, there are options for sharing. So if you don't have the ability and you're wondering why, it's most likely because your share ability is turned off. You would want to come in here and turn it on. The ones at the bottom, we're not going to cover today, but you can see that you can turn on notifications, and those settings are all down here at the bottom. These settings are set so that I'm recording just the speaker view, which is whoever is making noise, as I say. But if it's just you alone in your Zoom room, then it's just recording your face. If you start the screen share using the Zoom's share button and you pick something to share like this, I'm sharing my Canva application in the browser. Now you are sharing inside the cloud. There is the shared screen with speaker view, which shows my active speaker view in this little rectangle in the top right corner, and the shared screen is filling up the rest of the screen. At any time I were to stop the share inside the cloud, if I had a gallery of people, I would see the entire gallery. And that's with the shared screen and gallery view cloud file. So inside the cloud, if you have checked off all of those settings, you can end up with sometimes 8 different formats to use. Great for repurposing afterward. This is a local recording, and I turned off the feature where when you're sharing screen, you won't see the share and the video thumbnail side by side. And so I'm going to turn on the share now to see what that looks like. In this case, I'm going to bring it into portion of screen. And then in this video, I also turned off the timestamp so that during this recording, this is a local recording, the video and screen share should not be side by side. No timestamp and no participants' names. So that's all off. Now you know exactly how to record your Zoom meetings without missing a setting. Oh, before you go, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and tap that bell so you don't miss my next tutorial. They come out every week. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.